Hello, Natalie. So lovely you've been able to join us this afternoon to talk about your experiences as a parent volunteer for baby watching. And I'd just love to start off with, how have you found it?
I have absolutely adored baby watching. I'm slightly disappointed that we've got the current lockdown situation, which means that we're kind of unable to go in and see the children, because it's absolutely wonderful to kind of go in on a week by week basis. And the first thing the children do when you go into the classroom is go, oh my goodness, look how much he's changed, and oh, he's doing this week and he's doing that. It's been wonderful to go in and chat with Becky, and just kind of it makes you realize how much you're doing as a parent, and it kind of validates that point that you are doing a good job and that you can do it, and that your baby's happy and enjoying themselves.
Do you know, I think that's such a good point, because, you know, it's so different. You know, you get all the parent manuals, you can read as much as you like, but doing it feels very different. And to actually have 30 children, although that's, I know you split your group up so it's a little bit smaller, but even so, quite a few children watching you can feel quite, to begin with. But it is that wonderful validation that the children give you, because they get so excited.
Yeah.
And you realise, like, oh, what's mummy doing with her hand? Oh, I'm doing that. I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. I think it makes you more aware of things which you didn't ever realise that you were doing. You know, what you have the teacher giving a dialogue behind to kind of encourage the children and explain to the children, or ask the question, you know, why do you think mummy's doing that, and why do you think baby's doing that? And it makes you go, oh my goodness, I don't know, why was I doing that? That's something I do instinctively. And then the children go, oh, is it because mummy's doing this or mummy's thinking that? And you think, oh my goodness, yes it is. It's because I'm trying to encourage, it's because I'm trying to soothe. It's the big one for me that I never realized that I did was when feeding, I lower my voice, and the tone of my voice changed, and it became softer and quieter, and I'd never realized that I did it. It was something that was like a natural reaction, and it wasn't until doing the baby watching that I even realized that it was something I did. And now I'm very acutely aware of it and look for it, you know, when dad then does the feeding, I go, oh, is he kind of doing the same thing? So it's really interesting.
Yeah, and I love that. But that's been a positive self-reflection, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it's been a really positive, affirming self-reflection.
Yes. I think there are lots of things that are very self-affirming about doing the baby watching. As I said before, I think it does make you go, I can do this.
I've definitely had that feedback from other parents, so it's lovely to hear that again. And I'm also interested because you're a teacher, and you teach in a primary school, I think. So I'm really curious with your other sort of hat. So you've got your parent volunteer hat, but you can't remove your teacher hat because your teacher hat's always there. Yeah. I'm just wondering what impact you've seen for you as a teacher. How's that been for you?
It's really fascinating, thinking about it from that teacher point of view, that, you know, what the children get from it, all the different areas of learning that you wouldn't have even thought. Obviously it ties perfectly into your PSHCE and looking at positive relationships, but then looking at development of language for English, instead of using the word happy or nice all the time, it's a great opportunity to encourage that breadth of language. Oh, we've said nice already, you know, what else can we say? Or we've used happy, you know, what's another word for? It's been great on that kind of growth mindset, you know, understanding that it's okay to try something and not get it right, and you're going to try again and try again and try again. So, and the science side, where it links to your living and growing and life cycles and all of those things. So it's been fascinating, and I think it's also great to look at the interactions of the children as well develop as it comes on. You know, you really do get a sense of the children kind of trying to move their own learning forwards. And the first time I went into the classroom with the little one, they were quite noisy, and then the next time, you know, they'd learned and brought that forward. So they went, oh, you know, he's here now, we've got to be that little bit quieter. And from that side, the children are obviously getting so much out of it. And I would imagine the impact it will have on kind of positive relationships, the social side. I think you could associate every aspect of the curriculum to it. You could tie it all in. There's a place for it everywhere.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I think it has so much, as you say, so much breadth. And what I love about that, what you described, is that children also become the problem solvers. They're thinking, oh, we mustn't be. So they work together to sort of create a safe space for you, but also a safe space for themselves to sort of explore and try something new.
Yeah. It's really interesting the way they then question, and they'll suddenly, it was obvious week on week that they would go home and talk about it, because they would come in the next week, and as much as you kind of try and focus on baby that's here, they would become quite anecdotal. Oh, my mum said that when I was little I used to do that, and when my little sister or my little brother was little, they used to do that. So it really kind of, it was encouraging those questions at home as well. But at the same time, there were those children who right from day one wanted to ask questions directly, rather than make observations. And as the weeks went on, they became better at kind of going, oh no, that's not a question. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. And they would adjust their behaviour accordingly. So it was, and that was just in the kind of very short space that I spent in the sessions in class with them. And
willingly, because they want to be a part of it. So they so much want to be a part of it that they change their behaviour because they see the benefit.
Exactly. And I think that's, the teacher side goes, oh, all right, I'm going to, this person's sitting beautifully, I'm going to ask them, and that kind of domino effect of, oh, I want to be chosen. But what the class teacher said, which I found very interesting, was there was children that she didn't expect to respond who did respond, and actually those quieter children felt comfortable in that space. I think it's such a leveler as well. It's not an academic. There really isn't a right and wrong answer. I don't even know why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, so the children can't get the answer wrong if I'm thinking, oh, I don't know why. So it's not like maths where they're doing a maths puzzle and they could possibly get it wrong, or English and they're having to punctuate a sentence and they're going to get it wrong. There is no wrong. So I think those children who were lacking in the confidence, it suddenly gave them a platform which put them complete level pegging with their peers.
Yeah, that is wonderful to hear. And I also think it helps their self-expression, because they begin to have a framework of language to know how they feel, and they can observe, oh, that's what that feeling is. Oh, and all the feelings, frustration, anger, upset, it's all okay.
Yeah, and I think that's it. I mean, my little one is quite confident for, when we were going in, kind of a, 3-4 month old, but I knew the point that I could push him to where the frustration would then kind of tip over. And even in the sessions, kind of having him, he would get upset if he couldn't quite get to what he was doing, but I didn't pander to it immediately. I didn't go, oh no, I've got to give you that. It's, you've got to get used to the idea that we'll get there in the end. You try, and then you'll get your rattle. Just stretch that little bit further, that little bit further, that little bit further. Almost there, well done, you can have it. Yay, let's celebrate. And I think that certainly that growth mindset in young children, there is always the frustration that you think you can't do, or that there's someone better, or that it's too hard, or that this or that. But it's always going to be too hard. And if you don't try, then you're never going to get better. And certainly with him rolling over, that was a great one. That the first couple of sessions he couldn't roll over, and I was trying all I could to get him to roll over. And every now and again I'd flip him round and show him. And then the week that he finally did, the children then understood, oh, it's the perseverance. If she'd have just turned him over to start with, Mummy had put him on his tummy in the beginning, he would never have learned how to do it by himself. So I think that encouragement hopefully will show them that if you do keep trying, you can do it.
That's so powerful. That's really powerful.
It's it's really interesting. It's an eye-opening experience, and it's certainly anecdotes, things like that I can then go back to my class. And this is, I suppose, where you're saying as a teacher, what have I got out of it? I can now go back to my class and go, think about it like this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And I'm curious, of course, we have another star in this room. We have Torin. And how has Torin found the experience of being a baby volunteer?
Well, he genuinely absolutely loves it. I said he's quite a sociable little fellow, and he's just down there. That's why I'm looking down there. He's quite a sociable little fellow, and the minute I would go into the classroom, he'd put on his little performance, and he wouldn't do anything with me. He wouldn't have any interaction with me until I stood him up, and he'd looked at all the children, and he looked around the classroom, and it was only then that he would kind of want to interact and do what we were trying to do, or to show what we were trying to show. But even then, if there was a giggle or a smile, or he caught the eye of a child who looked interested, the grin came out. And so he very much, the children's behaviour is so good. I think because it's a treat, it's an exciting thing, because it's not your maths. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with maths or English, but it's not your stereotypical everyday lesson. And I think the idea that if he were upset, that might mean that he couldn't go there again. Yes. They were very quick to make sure that they did all they could to keep him happy. Yes. So they weren't too noisy, they weren't moving around too much, because all that meant was that he was happy, which meant that we could stay for a bit longer.
Yes. Yeah. Co-creators of a safe space, which I think is wonderful.
They did that. They knew what they needed to do in order to maintain the relationship.
Before we go, 2 simple little questions. If you have another baby, would you do it again?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. As I say, I would keep going with him. I would go with him, carry on the whole time I was on my mat leave, if I was allowed to. So, but so I would absolutely 100%
Wonderful.
Go and do it again.
And as a teacher, would you recommend it?
Yes, I will be pushing for my school to get involved. And I think if there are any parents kind of thinking, oh, I'm not sure if I'd want them to be involved in that, as a teacher, 100%, it's great. So much, you get so much out of it. It's amazing.
Natalie, you've been an absolute delight to talk to. I've really enjoyed hearing about your experiences. So thank you so much.
My absolute pleasure. Yeah, if anything we can do to encourage more people to join in and get on board, then go for it.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Bye.